Alright everyone, it's slimy Nancy Pelosi time, because in the wake of his State of the Union address, Donald Trump tweeted out a video, and it was of Nancy Pelosi ripping up his speech, which she did, while it was sort of spliced with bits of the State of the Union, involved with like honoring veterans and stuff, which he did. Nancy Pelosi's staff apparently attempted to force Twitter and Facebook to take the video down, claiming that it was edited, and therefore it was like fake news, and it was wrong, and they said, no, we're not going to take it down because quite clearly it's not disallowed under TOS. Twitter did decide, however, to cuck out a little bit. They decided that they're going to invent a new category thing, so that any video that's been edited, which, you know, the average person would understand that if you're showing the same clip over and over for dramatic effect, spliced with material from a speech or whatever, yeah, that's video editing. It's not really selective editing. It's just illustrating a point. Videos like that, and of course it'll be Twitter's sole discretion to decide whether the video falls under that category. They'll get a new category. They'll get like a little warning on them that says edited media or something like that. Well, you know, that's wonderful. I suppose it's better than taking the video down, but it's sort of like the Streisand effect. Pelosi's people wanted the video disappeared because it's effective. She did rip up the speech. There's nothing edited about that. It's simply footage of her ripping up the State of the Union speech. Trump did honor veterans and police and other people at his speech. This is normal for a State of the Union. Half the State of the Union has nothing to do with the State of the Union. It has to do with distinguished individuals that are distinguished within the prior year or so. And that's really, by the way, it's fucking boring. If I were giving a State of the Union, I'd keep it terse and sit there for 20 minutes talking about economic metrics and then say fuck you and leave. That's really what Trump should do, because he really shines when he goes on a quick rant and then drops the mic. It's not necessarily his strength, but I looked at the polling, and this, by the way, is why Pelosi wanted this video disappear. 84% of independents liked his speech. Independents wildly liked his State of the Union. That's a threshold that in some cases it's difficult for a president to achieve with their own party. So Donald Trump knocked it out of the park, right on the heels of impeachment failing. He's going to get a boost in the polls. Pelosi's running scared. And so she decided to foment more tech censorship. I obviously oppose this. The concept that because a video has been hashed together, it's misleading in some way is totally wrong. The fact is that the basic content of that video only comes from that one State of the Union speech. Everything there is presented as it actually was. Nothing has been in and of itself edited. It's simply been spliced in a certain order. That's like saying that if somebody were to take a video of me, like they take this video right here, and they chop it into a few segments to provide commentary, they are not selectively editing my video. If they were to take it and they were to hash it around to make me say something that I didn't actually say, that would be selective editing. You could provide quotes out of context by selectively choosing where to splice it. But the thing is, this doesn't do that. Nancy Pelosi tore up the speech, and it's simply illustrating the fact that that's disagreeable based on some of the content of the State of the Union. Now, Pelosi would not whine about this if she put that on there. Why didn't she simply react by splicing together the things that she found objectionable with the footage of her tearing up the speech and put that on there and then tweet it at Donald Trump? Well, that would be a fair thing to do. Say, these are the things that he said that I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with him honoring veterans. That's malarkey. That's balderdash, as a Democrat these days would say. No, this is what I have a problem with. You know why she wouldn't do that? Because the independents would break against her all over again. And that's why she wanted this disappeared. She fucked up. The optics of you tearing up the State of the Union address were terrible even before Trump put this video out. So I would actually have to applaud Zuckerberg and what's his name, who, you know, he's irrelevant at this point. He's still wandering around in East Africa at the moment, I believe, Jack Dorsey of Twitter. They're doing the right thing. Clearly, I mean, if you were to get rid of videos of that type, you'd basically be saying memes are not allowed on our site in video form. It's a whole fucking point. People have done that about me because I make a lot of video. In fact, sometimes people have selectively edited my videos totally out of context in order to present a view of me that's completely inaccurate. Rational Wiki has done this. I'm sure that if somebody who didn't like me and they were on the right decided to make a Conservapedia article, they'd have to do the same thing. If you fixate just on one portion of a person's commentary, that can be selective, but the idea that within the course of a single State of the Union speech, without any outside material at all, you're simply shifting around some clips and this becomes misleading enough to justify kicking it off a website. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have been going hard lately for tech censorship. They have been putting as much effort as possible into these sites to shut people like me down, let alone the State of the Union video. The more effective a person is, the more scuttlebutt there is about wanting to ban them, the more they dig in and try to find out shit about that person. And they've been doing this for a number of years. Largely, they've been unsuccessful. For the most part, all they've done is manage to help spawn alt tech. They've managed to make BitChute and Minds and some of these others viable platforms, which they may not have been if there hadn't been a mass exodus as the result of far-left pressure and neoliberal corporate pressure by the DNC and similar groups. They're the parent firms of their media allies on YouTube and sites like that to kick people off who are really doing nothing wrong. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the boost up for alt tech. You've actually made my day. And I think that it's wonderful, and 76,000 subscribers on BitChute coming up very shortly. That's viability on a platform, by the way. As far as Trump's speech, there's nothing selectively edited here. Nancy Pelosi basically disdained the entire speech. Selecting which clips to demonstrate what she's disdaining is not selective at all. It's partisan. It's not selective. It wouldn't be any different than if she had responded to a State of the Union by saying, these are the top 3 things I took offense to in your speech. Well, you're not focusing on any of the other stuff in the speech. Would Twitter and Facebook force you to go through line by line through the entire State of the Union and respond to everything? Otherwise, you're being misleading. You're saying that the State of the Union was only those 3 things that you think are objectionable because some focus group told you independents didn't like those parts of his speech quite so much. And that's exactly goddamn why she's doing this. It's because of the polling after the State of the Union showing Trump goddamn knocked it out of the park. Coming in the wake, again, impeachment fails, extremely highly rated State of the Union, Iowa caucus disaster. The Democrats are 0 for 3 at the moment. They have had the worst goddamn slew of luck that they've had in decades. That's about all. Peace out.